Hey guys, I want to give you a review of the Hurricane Blowback. This is the X3 model. I'm demoing it. We bought the Z3, the bigger unit. On here it has lights in the nighttime, the rotator captain, and it's hydraulic driven, just like the walk-behind mower or whatever. It's the stand-on unit. And the system I have implemented with my guys is, this thing takes care of the open areas. The guys get inside the gardens, and then they blow out around the house and then around the gardens, and then we take care of the bulk with the big machine and move the bulk to the woods. So I'm gonna have Angel here. He's gonna hold the video camera while I blow the rest of these leaves into the woods for you. So if you can go up here, Angel, you get a better view. I got the guys in the back right now blowing out the gardens and stuff. It's kind of hard to get the big machine to the gardens, so around the edges of the house and inside the gardens we get it blown out into here, and then I'll move the bulk. So Angel, if you want to stand here and just kind of keep this focus for me. Thanks, it's on right now. You don't have to do nothing. Alright guys, so just to review everything about this machine, I've been using it now for about a week, and I've worked out all the kinks, I think. All the things you need to get used to whenever you're getting a new piece of equipment. Some of the things I realized that is in the front where the fan housing is and where you're standing on in the back, the motor is in between the fan housing and where you stand on. Sometimes leaves get caught in there. I actually had a fire. So just be careful about debris getting inside there. It didn't do much. It just actually ended up having to blow with a blower and get the stuff out of there, so it didn't catch on fire too bad. But I do think that's a design flaw, maybe, if you will. If there's anything wrong with the machine, that's one of the things that I've seen that's wrong with it. Other than that, I blew a pile. I should have taken a video yesterday, because it was actually for guys who are in the field and are looking to buy it. That's the type of video you want to see. I mean, I had piles probably about 3 foot tall, full of like mixed debris, sticks, pine cones. Some of the leaves were wet, most of them were dry, but some of them were wet. And so it was a good heavy leaf pile. I had to actually cut the pile into half because it got too big and the machine couldn't push it. So I actually had to go in front of the pile, cut it in half, move that about 20 feet, come back for the other half of the pile and move that with the other pile, then cut it in half again. Keep doing that to get it across. But the amount of volume of leaves that I moved during that period of time would have taken guys with backpack blowers all day to do the property we did, and we had it done in maybe 2 hours. So it is amazing. You just have to constantly be thinking about what you're doing. When you're going in reverse, be conscious about what's going on behind you. You don't run into a branch, you don't run into a tree. Be very cautious around mulch gardens and old blacktop driveways, I noticed. I've actually lifted up a couple pieces of blacktop on old driveways. So if you're going across something that's not really in good shape, just be careful or close the gate. And I was working next to a garden, and I actually, the wind of this machine so strong, it got underneath the mulch and lifted up the weed fabric and just like ballooned up about 2 feet. And I turned the machine real quick and it went back down. It didn't disturb too much, but it's strong. So just be careful where you're pointing it, where everything's going, and you'll be okay in that way. Just have someone, whoever's going to be operating this machine, just have them be conscientious, have them be smart, and somebody who knows how to be safe. They when you're going on hills and they're kind of like an angle like this, to go this way is, it wants to kind of tilt up. So I stand to the height, I stand on the platform on the back to where it wants to flip over. I put my weight on that side, and I don't have a problem. Too extreme of a slope, I think you'd have a big problem. What else? When you're reversing up a hill like this, going up, I feel like the tires spin a lot, and if you use Z-turns or anything like that, you know what I'm talking about. I went over this in another clip I'm going to show you in a minute, but just wanted to give you a better understanding what I'm talking about while there's no noise going on in the background, because the clip is kind of noisy. The gates, they open and close. There's a motor to them, and there's a switch. So if there's anything that's probably going to go wrong on that machine, it's going to be the switches are going to go bad, or the gates are going to go bad. The rest of the stuff is a motor, so obviously your motor can go bad. But the fan, I don't foresee anything happening with the housing. Everything's kind of well built. It's very solid. The metal's very solid on the unit, and the pad that you're standing on is very comfortable. So overall, if I had to give it a rating, out of 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, I'd give it about an 8.5. And that's just the X3. I haven't gotten the Z3 in yet, and I'll do a video on that when I get the Z3. The guy who sold it to us said that if I like the Z3 or the X3, I'm going to fall in love with the Z3. Certain applications, these things are actually almost too strong. Like I have a leaf box, and if I'm going to suck up the leaves, if I get too close to the part where I want to put the leaves to suck it up, the machine becomes useless because it just blows the leaves over top of the pile. So you kind of just have to use backpacks at that point if you get too close to the pile that you want to make. If you're blowing everything into the woods, this machine is amazing. I mean, it'll bring piles to the woods that would take hours to blow. So that is its best application. Wide open areas, big fields, tighter areas are right. Just be more cautious about what you're blowing. This machine's great. Hopefully this helped. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon. So I want to do a quick overview of this machine. It has a door there that opens up with these 3 switches right here. There's a left, there's one in the front, and there's one on this side. This X3 is the smaller of the machines. Like I said before, I'm going to be getting the Z3, and it has these lights, 1, 2, and 3 for working at nighttime when it's darker and you're just trying to finish up. You know, when you're in the field, you have all those problems. So it's always nice to have a little bit of extra daylight to you. Also with this machine, it has a Z-type turn style stuff, so it's pretty strong. And because of that, you can get thrown off of this pedestal if you go around a turn too quickly. If everyone knows when you're doing fall cleanups, it's cold, so your hands do get cold. Wear some warm gloves, and wish they put heat warmers on there for your hands. Maybe these doors over time, these openers, they'll maybe have to be replaced. It seems like something that might have to be replaced after a couple of years. They do want to tend to tip over if you're on an angle, like my guy is right here. We're on a hill here. When you're going back and forth in this direction, kind of like he's mowing right now. If you're on too much of a slope, obviously, with any piece of equipment, you're going to end up feel like you're going to tip over, and you possibly could tip over. If you're trying to back up something like this with the machine going backwards, the wheels want to spin and slip. So these are just normal things. If you've ever mowed on a Z-turn mower before and you have any basic understanding of physics, you'll understand that this is all normal stuff. Nothing wrong with the machine. I'm just trying to let everyone know what to expect when you use it. I love this machine, and can't wait to get the Z3 in. This is just a demo right now. So the Z3 is supposed to come in tomorrow. The guy told me if I love this machine, wait until I use the Z3. It's a couple $1,000s more than this unit here, but there's a bigger fan, bigger housing, and this machine weighs 800 and something pounds, I think 850 pounds. A lot of it, as you can tell, is up front. Very little is in the back. So it is front heavy, and you do have that as somewhat of an anchor when you're going up the hill. But again, it will rock on you. That guy right there mowing, he's a little heavy, as you can tell. And when he's on here, the front end wants to come up. But other than that, it's a really nice machine. Love it. I would suggest anyone getting this. It's definitely worth the price. Saves you man hours and a lot of labor.